we say rational numbers, what do we mean? What's that? I heard somebody say it. Fractions, right. For what we're talking about, there's more to the definition than that, but for what we're working with, it's just fractions, right? So that's what we mean by rational numbers for what we're doing. Okay, so if we have our first problem, we have is 1/9 minus 5/27. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite that down here. Now, just like any fraction, we need to get a common what? Denominator, right? Well, can we multiply 9 times something to give us 27? Yeah, 3, right? Well, we can't just multiply 3 times 9, we have to multiply 3/3 times 1/9. And I would recommend that you write this down, because you don't want to forget, you know, I see students make a mistake with fractions, and a main problem that they're having is that they don't write this step right here. If you write the step down, then you can see, well, in this case, 3 times 1 is just going to be 3, but if it's something else besides 1, that's where students can make a mistake. So this will be 3/27 minus 5/27. Now, if we just looked at this as just 3 minus 5, right, what do we have? Just no denominator, just 3 minus 5. -2. So with a fraction, it's going to be -2/27. Okay? And then from there, you want to see if you can simplify, which in this case we can.
You didn't put the negative anywhere.
Yeah, so how did you know it was a negative? It looks like
Because you can't subtract
Ah, okay.
5 from 3.
Okay, good question. Because what we can do here is we can make that minus sign a plus, change the sign to the next number.
okay.
So
Okay?
you're supposed to automatically know that the negative sign will go to the number to the right.
That's right.
It's always to the right.
That's right. Always to the right. Yeah.
Okay, I see what
Yeah.
you're doing. I understand.
Yes, and that's a good point there, because you're always going from left to right. So that minus sign is the sign that goes in front of that number, never behind it. So you're always going from left to right. Okay? And so this would be a positive, going from left to right, this would be a +3 and a -5. Okay? So that's why in your order of operations, you're always saying you're going from left to right for that reason. Okay? Any other questions with that? Alright, so now if we have -7/12 plus 5/8, we can't multiply 8 times something and get 12, right? So what we need to do is get a common denominator. And the easiest way to get common denominator is start with the largest denominator and just start multiplying. 2 times 12 is 24. So can we say 8 times something gives us 24? Yeah, we can say that 8 times 3, right, is 24. So that means we're going to multiply, here's -7/12, we're going to multiply that times 2/2 plus, and then the 5/8, what do you think we're going to multiply there? 3/3. Okay? So that's an easy way to start calculating out. Start with the largest denominator and start multiplying with 2, and then work your way up from there. Alright? So now we multiply 2 times -7. That gives us what? -14 over 2 times 12. 24. Plus 5 times 3, what's that? 15 over 8 times 3, 24. So now we have a -14 and positive 15. So is that going to give us a plus or minus for an answer? Plus 1 over 24, right. Okay, and that's our answer. Okay, any questions with that? Alright, so when you do it in these steps here, fractions are not so bad. Okay, and you do not want to skip this step. You want to write that down. I see students wanting to skip that step, but it's a very important step because here you're multiplying 2 times 7, and here you're multiplying 5 times 3. And it's easy to mess it up if you don't have those numbers written down. Okay? Alright. Next problem. Here we have negative 7 over 3 minus parentheses negative 3 over 2. Now, right away, what can we do with these negatives in between the first and the second number? What can we do with those? Minus a negative 3 over 2. What can we do with that? Can we change these? Well, but even before that, what can we do with these signs? Let's get these signs cleaned up. Plus, right? Change the minus sign to a plus. Change the sign this next term. Okay, so now we can say negative 7 over 3 plus 3 over 2. And that just kind of makes it a little bit easier to work with. Move this plus over. Alright, now we need common denominator, right? Which is going to be what? 6, right? So we got to multiply the first fraction by what? 2 over 2, good. And the next one, we're going to multiply what for a common denominator? 3 over 3, right. Okay, so that would be negative 7 times 2 is negative 14 over 3 times 2 is 6. And mentally in your mind, you should be saying these numbers out loud in your mind. And when you do that, you're less likely. First of all, it'll be clear in your mind what you're doing, and you'll be less likely to make a mistake when you work it through like that. 3 times 3, 9. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay. And so now we have a negative 14 and a positive 9. That'll give us a positive or a negative? Negative 5 over 6. And that's our answer. Okay, so far we haven't had to simplify any answers.
I was going to ask you about that.
But it's possible that you may have to simplify. If you can simplify, then you have to simplify.
Alright, when you simplify it, you still keep the same like the minus?
Yeah, you would keep the same, yes, you
The
keep the
negative
same
stuff.
sign. It's going to be just, the numbers are just going to be changed. The sign will stay the same. Okay, any other questions there? Alright. So, let's come back here for a second. The process here is the same as far as the signs go, if we did not have denominators. If we just had negative 7 minus negative 3, we would still change the signs just like we would with fractions. Okay, that process is still the same.